Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. This is your Z107.7 local news for Saturday, March 21st, 2026. Looking west out of the San Bernardino mountain range, the snow that speckled the peaks in our short winters mostly disappeared as the official start to spring also came as some of the hottest temperatures on record, for the low desert at least. Up here in the high des, it's certainly early for the temperatures we're reaching, but I don't think we're hitting any record numbers yet. However, it's a good indicator of what the weather might be as we head into summer, and California climate watchers are anticipating a drier season without more snowpack in the hills. California receives about 30% of its water from snowmelt, and when that runs out, so do streams and tributaries in the mountain regions north of us. Despite these early hot temperatures, there's still going to be some time to prepare for the real heat that could be hammering the high des. That means get your cooling in order. Maintenance on a swamp cooler or a mini split will be less painful if you don't wait to do it after our first triple-digit day. And maybe think about getting that weeding done too. One invasive plant is particularly dangerous for our pets as it dries out. Red brome is also known as foxtails, and they're relatively harmless in their green state, but as they dry out, they turn into a spiky brown nest of barbs that can severely injure your pet. With more, here's dog lover Jeff Harmatz.
A common name given to a number of grasses, foxtails are sprouting up in yards and even the national park, but they shouldn't be. Foxtails in general are invasive, and one specific species, the red brome, which looks like an upturned brush, is particularly present here in the high desert. Medina Asbel, the Director of Conservation for the Mojave Desert Land Trust, explains.
It's very invasive. It's actually been in Southern California since the late 1800s, and we start to see it when the desert starts greening up in the winter and early spring. And unfortunately, it is an invasive plant that's not from this area. It does not provide benefits to our wildlife and in fact can be quite harmful.
Dr. Brenna Lynn Timmerman, a doctor of veterinary medicine out of Landers, described the problems that foxtails can cause in pets, specifically dogs.
They've got coats and hair on their legs so they can pick them up walking along. And that's the most common route of infection or problem for them, is that the animals pick them up in the skin and end up ingesting them from grooming. Sometimes it can embed in the skin and start to migrate up a leg or a paw mostly.
What can a concerned dog owner do to protect their precious pup?
The best thing you can do is check your pet after it's been outside. Go through the paws, go through the ears. Sometimes the butt cheeks tend to be a little extra hairy, and use that time to maybe groom or brush the dog too.
And what should you do if you see a foxtail in your dog's fur?
Most often you can dislodge it yourself, especially if it's gotten early on. If it goes a couple of days, then that's when we start to worry about it bedding in the skin. But you can still pull it, you're okay. If it does show signs of infection like heat, swelling, or redness, which you probably should go in for a vet.
Foxtails are everywhere right now, but we can still be vigilant. If you see them in your yard, do your part to eliminate the threats to pets and wildlife and keep them from spreading.
Unfortunately, foxtails are here, so we have to manage them as best we can. And so what I recommend to property owners is remove them, pull them out, and bag them. So don't just leave them laying on the ground or put them in a composter because the seeds are still able to disperse. It's better to put them into trash bags, contractor bags, whatever, tie them up and put them in your dumpster with the trash.
Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Jeff Harmatz.
Two lifelong high desert artists are reuniting for their third joint exhibition in the high desert art scene. Paul Donaldson and Snake Jagger bring their latest works to the High Desert Artist Gallery in Old Town Yucca Valley. The opening reception will be held tonight from 5 to 7 p.m., and the gallery is inviting the community to meet the artists and experience their newest collections. The High Desert Artist Gallery says that Donaldson will be presenting a compelling series of portraits featuring local residents and artisans from the high desert community. Rendered in his signature style, the works capture both the character and spirit of the individuals who helped shape the region's creative identity. Jagger will showcase a retrospective of his distinctive whimsical surrealism, highlighting imaginative desert landscapes alongside select portrait works. The gallery says that his pieces blend dreamlike elements with familiar surroundings, offering viewers a playful yet thought-provoking perspective on the desert environment. The show runs March 20th through April 14th. The High Desert Artist Gallery is located at 55635 29 Palms Highway in Yucca Valley, and the exhibition begins at 5 o'clock tonight. You can learn more about the shows at high-desertartist.com. The Firehouse is hosting a multidisciplinary immersive art show on Sunday, and reporter Adeline J. Wells has the scoop.
On Sunday afternoon, a pop-up exhibition featuring the work of artist Seanan Williams will be held at the Firehouse in Joshua Tree. The art show will be a celebration of Williams' multidisciplinary work, encompassing music, visual art, poetry, and a screening of the short film Tilt Horizon. Locals Sua Yu and band Droney Mitchell will also be featured, presenting a poetry reading and musical performance, respectively. The event is a collaboration between the Firehouse and Invisible Republic, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving art literacy and education. A Los Angeles native, Williams grew up exploring the wide range of art found in the city's galleries and museums. Today, he is a musician and visual artist whose work includes paintings, sculptures, books, zines, and collaborative films. He also plays in the band Acetone and has frequented the Morongo Basin as a member of rock band Dengue Fever, which has played several shows at Pappy and Harriet's in Pioneertown. The event tomorrow will mark the second screening of Tilt Horizon, a short film by Williams and filmmaker Taubert Fieler. The short film is shot as a music video for Lamps, a series of paintings by Williams that depict themes of ritual through nature.
I said, well, what if we made a music video for a painting instead of a band or a song? It just kind of sparked this idea. At the time, I'm working on these paintings that I called lamps because they glow. We decided to use these volcanic paintings as the inspiration for this film. I wanted to bring in rituals and daily rituals and the pilgrimage and the idea of death and birth into the imagery of the film.
A selection of Williams' visual art will be on display during the pop-up art show, including paintings and sculptures. The event will also feature a reading from his book, Scrapyard, over an improvised soundscape of synthesizer and bass guitar. Published in 2025 by Hat and Beard Press, the book is a replica of a scrapbook created by Williams to showcase his artistic process. Scrapyard also includes 10 vignettes written by nonprofit Plain Sight Archive that detail the history and cultural significance of scrapbooking.
I started creating a scrapbook in my studio. When I create paintings and sculpture, there's always detritus or shrapnel, things left over from creating artwork. Little scraps of paper with poems written on them, torn up things and paint splotches and drawings. I started gluing them into the scrapbook, and I slowly made this scrapbook over about 3 years' time.
Williams credits events that celebrate the multifaceted nature of art as key to strengthening community.
I think everyone, when they sit down to dinner or when they commune with friends or they walk down the street, they're looking at their community, not with hate, but with love. So I feel that art is a very important part of community. And I think art defines culture. Creating spaces to share something creative is important, but it's always been important, and it's been a constant.
The Tilt Horizon film screening, art, and poetry show will be held tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Firehouse, located at 65430 Winters Road in Joshua Tree. A $15 donation is suggested. Reporting for Z107.7 News, this is Adeline J. Wells.
Also this Sunday, a meeting taking place in Pioneertown will address some possible changes coming to Main Street, and residents are being encouraged to come to discuss them along with traffic, tourism, parking, safety, dark skies, and many other topics that are sure to perk up Pioneertown on a sleepy Sunday morning. It's taking place at the Pioneertown Fire Station located at 5380 Mountain View Road. It begins at 9:30 a.m. You can see the flyer and learn more at this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. And in Joshua Tree this Tuesday, an early stage development is being discussed at the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors meeting, and a local group is inviting residents down to the Joshua Tree Community Center to view the meeting and discuss the zoning change that the county is considering that could allow for commercial and mixed-use development near the post office. The meeting is beginning at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, March 24th, and you can view it online or join the Morongo Basin Conservation Association and other Joshua Tree residents at the Community Center at 6171 Sunburst Avenue. Z107.7 will be there too. And that's your local news for Saturday. You can hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. More Morongo Basin residents get their local news from Z107.7 than any other source. Reporting out of Joshua Tree, California, alongside the award-winning Z107.7 News team, I'm Robert Hayden.